with you about security device and technologies, and we can also call this technology solution, like security solution. So I'll be running through this list that I already have on the board. We have router, we have firewall, we have IDS, IPS, VPN, SWG, UTM, we have EDR, SIEM tool, we have anti-malware and antivirus. So I'll be going through them one at a time. I'll try my best to explain them as simple as possible so that you'll be able to get them. And you can relate with some of them because you use some of them in your household as one of your household tools and all the rest. So let's dive into it. So the first one is a router. So what is a router? Like normally we use router at home, but people don't exactly understand the work of a router. So a router, I would say, is like a traffic police. So what the router does is it takes internet signal from your internet service provider. We call them ISPs in cybersecurity. So internet service provider. The router takes internet signal from these people. So usually they are the big name. Like where I live, we have Plus, we have Play, we have a couple of them. And so they take the signal from here and then transfer it to your devices, like your laptop, your smart TV, your phone. So when you come home and then you try to put on your Wi-Fi, which is like the wireless router, this is the job of a router. So that box that you have that connects internet into your home, into the offices, is called a router. And we have two types of router. We have the wired router, which most people don't. I mean, some people still use it where they connect with a cable. And we have the wireless one, which is the Wi-Fi that everybody is used to. So I hope you understand it. So it's like a traffic police, that is directing the internet signal, take it from them, bring it to you. And when it's down, you can also feel the connection and the rest. So let's move to firewall. So what is the firewall? Firewall can actually be in form of an hardware or a software. So usually I would personally classify firewall as a security gate. So it's like you want to go into a building, the gate either allows you in or doesn't allow you. So firewall in a real context monitors the data that is coming into your network and outside of your network. And when I'm referring to network, I'll go into details by the next class talking about computer networking. It's a big part of security, so we might need like a few weeks to talk about, maybe 2 weeks, talk about the basis of networking. So what firewall does is that it's checking the data to be sure that there's nothing malicious. If a firewall suspects a malicious data running over your network, firewall will block it based on predefined rules. Let's say, for example, there is an IP that you think it's malicious, you have defined it on your firewall. The firewall will block it and will not allow it in. So I would personally classify it as a security gate. And usually it is like a perimeter security, so it can be at the entrance or the exit. But I won't go into details about that for now. So what is IDS? IDS is intrusion detection system. So it's a system that monitors the traffic running over your network in order to just produce an alert to the maybe security team. Then the security team will pick it up from there and then work on it. Intrusion detection system. That's what IDS is. IPS, on the other hand, is intrusion prevention system. So what the difference between IDS and IPS is that IDS just create an alert, for people to know. So for example, a security camera. So the camera sees that an intruder came into the compound. The camera would not stop the intruder coming into the compound. So, but for IPS is like a security guard. So the security guard would ask the intruder, well, who are you looking for? Have you contacted the person? Just hold on, maybe I should phone the room to tell them that you're around, something like that. So an IPS prevents. So when there is a malicious entry over your network, and IPS actively prevents it, like constantly working to prevent it. So what is the difference between firewall, IDS? So we say, for example, that they are all trying to, prevent or detect malicious traffic over your network. So the difference is that firewall is at the entrance. So if you bypass a firewall, you will meet up with an IDS or an IPS. So even though IDS is okay, sometimes an IDS would, the attack would have been done before you could track it back. But for IPS would detect it and block it immediately so it doesn't come into your system. So if something actually bypass a firewall, they probably will not bypass an IPS. So as you can see from the screen, firewall controls and filter the traffic. IDS actually monitors suspicious activity and alerts the maybe security team, and then the IPS actively block these threats. So basically, like I said previously, that usually it's like firewall is a security gate, while IDS is like a security camera, and IPS is like a security guard, that when an intruder comes in, they can question the intruder and ask them question who they want to see, why they are here, and all of those. So as you can see, these are the differences between, I'm just doing a comparison between firewall, IDS and IPS side by side. So that's it. So again, IDS, intrusion detection system, so an intruder. IPS, intrusion prevention system. Now let's move to VPN. I know many of you know about VPN because when it comes to location, you're able to, sign up to a VPN and say, I'm in China while you're in, an African country or something like that. The full meaning of VPN is virtual private network. And what does it mean? It just means like a secure tunnel. So for example, I'm trying to purchase something online. I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing online, like my online activity. When I put on my VPN, it's like a tunnel. So it covers everything I am doing from beginning till the end. And this is very important because of an attack called man in the middle. So there is an attack called MITM, man in the middle attack. So with VPN, you don't have an attacker, intercepting whatever activity you're doing. Say you're trying to pay with a bank, credit card and something like that. An attacker will not be able to see exactly what you're doing, even if they are actively trying to see with a VPN. So it's virtual private network. It's like a secure tunnel that hides all your online activity that no one else can see what you're doing. That's VPN. SWG is secure web gateway. And I would explain this because I'm sure many of us have seen it before. You're just not sure that it's a concept in cybersecurity. So it's secure web gateway. And what does it do? It protects online users. It protects them by monitoring and filtering, web applications. So everything about SWG is that it works with web, your browsing history, whatever you're doing online, and it protects you. It monitors it, it filters it. So I, put a couple of things here. So what does SWG does? It filters your URL. So for example, there are something that have been predefined, say some porn sites that you're not supposed to watch at work or something like that you're not supposed to even use your office PC for. So you can use SWG to filter out some of those URLs. So even if you put them into your browser, it won't go because it has been blocked. So it monitors, filters out, and then block. Now also content filtering. There are some things you will check online. You will not be able to see the malicious meaning. I don't know how to explain this, but I'll try my best. So for example, if you have filtered out certain content from your future browsing history, no matter how you put those content into Google, whatever browser you're using, Edge and the rest, you won't be able to see it because this SWG has actually filtered them out and blocked them, so it won't be visible to you. Now they also use it for DLP, data loss prevention. So DLP is data loss prevention. Some people also use, SWG functions as data loss prevention. Say for example, in a payments company or something like that, or a company that stores people's credit card. And I'm using credit card a lot because we are very familiar with it. Say a company that stores people's credit card, and somebody, an employee, wants to take out that data. This security solution would actually block it from happening. There are certain data that you will not be able to take out of the company, no matter how much you try. So this is SWG, Secure Web Gateway. Now UTM. The full meaning of UTM is Unified Threat Management. I mentioned firewall here, mentioned IDS, mentioned IPS. So unified is exactly as the name implies in English. So it's a unified threat management. So to manage all of your threat attack, there is a solution that combines firewall, that combines IDS and even combine antivirus. I'm sure we are all familiar with antivirus. So it combines all of this into one solution. So sometimes some companies just go for unified threat management, just to be able to see the the overview of everything that is happening when it comes to their threat landscape. So that's UTM. Now, EDR, the full meaning of EDR is endpoint detection and response. Endpoint detection and response. Now, what is endpoint? I'm sure people who are already in security understand what endpoint is, but people who are outside of security are trying to get their way into cybersecurity might not understand. Endpoint is just your laptop, your computers, your mobile devices. Those are endpoint. Something we do or use day to day. That's endpoint. Now, detection and response. So it means that if there's any malicious activity going on with any of your endpoint devices, this solution, it's a security solution, it will detect it and then respond to it automatically, by the use of AI or whatever. It responds to it immediately. I'm sure many of you would have heard of Palo Alto Network. They have a solution around EDR. So companies usually buy this security solution in order to protect their endpoints, because you can't really have a say on what employees will use their phone, their office phone for, their laptop for. But if this EDR actually detects it, they respond to it also immediately. Now, SIEM tool. So the full meaning of SIEM is security, information, and event management. And I'll quickly pause a little bit to help you understand what event is in security. So event in security is just an activity that you're performing online. Now, if the activity eventually results into something malicious, then it becomes an incident. They declare it as a, there will be criteria to declare that, okay, this thing is an incident. So event, for example, is like me logging in through my phone, or maybe the IP that is being assigned to my my phone is visible, that this person logged into the system. That's just an event. It's not malicious, it's just a normal thing. And that's what SIEM2 usually collects. So it collects event sources from different places. Can collect some things happening over the firewall, can collect some things happening from the IDS, just collect logs. That's usually what it is. And eventually some companies actually move from just having only SIEM2 to having SOAR 2. And when SIEM is collecting those data, sometimes if there is a preset value, say for example, if something goes beyond 5, I'm just using an example, there should be an alert. So SIEM would actually produce an alert that, something is going on, and then the security team will look into it. But because there are a lot of logs coming in and it could wear out the security team, there is a tool called the SOAR tool. It has to do with automation. So security orchestration, automation, and response. So usually this uses like an AI to respond to, incidents that can be responded to, that does not need human intervention. And so company uses combined part of this too sometimes. And these are not all the devices and technologies we have in security. These are just, few ones that can help you, stimulate your brain to start understanding that some of the things we use in our day-to-day life is also like very relevant in this career path. So anti-malware and antivirus, I'm sure we all are aware of what antivirus is. It helps to protect us from virus. This protects us from malware. That's it. So talk about today. For next lesson, we'll be looking into computer networking basics. So I won't overwhelm you with all of the IPs and the rest, but we would need to understand the basics. And the week after that, I would start to open your eyes towards different careers, different entry-level careers that we have in cybersecurity. After these two topics, I'll be bringing in somebody who could do like an hands-on, maybe somebody who is an ethical hacker or who is a SOC analyst, who can show you, what it feels like, maybe a day in the life of a SOC analyst or a day in the life of an ethical hacker, just for you to have an idea what the job entails. So I'll see you next week. Thank you.